right.
You see me well?
I can see you. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well. How
Okay.
you? FlowDojo up in the building, man. How you doing?
In the house. Uh,
Yes.
feeling um, like we have some momentum
Yeah,
after,
man. I'm feeling the
after
same.
last week's talk with Lane. It was a big piece to the puzzle that we're trying to put together here.
I agree with you 100% there, and I'm very proud that he was able to come in and join us and give us some real positive feedback and direction to where it really put a force behind us, you know?
Yep. And I was looking at his YouTube channel, and if you look at everything that he posts, his highest or his most viewed posts are the ones that deal with health and wellness.
Oh man, good research.
Yeah, and he all of his clips that are deal with him exercising or cooking or giving that health as wealth message have 1,000 plus views.
Right,
And his little reels that more involve music are down low closer to like a few hundred.
right.
And so that may be something that it's trending in the right direction for him.
Well, and yeah, and a lot of people don't understand, and I'm not saying doesn't, but a lot of artists need a supplemental income to continue the vibe because most of the time music is not going to do it alone, considering you have so many artists in such a small genre, right? So if you're not community based and you're not targeting people who think and act like you just got music. But if you are exercising and you are eating correctly and part of your audience is already having that in their system, this makes your music accompany the dancing. It accompanies the eating. It accompanies the drinking of the tea, the exercising. You know what I mean? So when you look at the grand scheme of things, most artists need to have a supplemental income, gift, whatever you want to call it, to be able to attract a different niche of their audience.
Yeah, and um, the what he talked about last time about taking FlowDojo the nonprofit route, and
Right.
he wasn't the first to bring that up to me. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that I don't have any really familiarity with it, and it's kind of just like a new world, and there's a lot to learn in the nonprofit space. But
Right.
I think it really gave both of us like that new or just like a strong direction. And a lot of times if I don't really know what to do and I don't know what the next move is, I just kind of sit tight.
Right.
But then when I do know, like, okay, that seems like the way, then I can get things done very, very fast.
Right. Well, it's someone. It's like aiming, right? You knew the direction to go. Somebody just need to put you down and aim you, and you say, "Oh, that's the bullseye." You know what I mean? You're running in the direction.
Uh,
You're just hoping to get there, as opposed to somebody seeing you and say, "No. Go a little bit east while you're going north, and you'll run right into it." You know?
yeah. And so then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's, we're going east and we need to get the EIN set up, got to get the articles of corporation set up, bank account set up, and
Right.
website change. So like I can boom, 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 boom. And
That
um, that, the rate of growth can really speed up when that direction gets tuned to the right way.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
And the first step of working in the nonprofit space is getting your proposal set up. What are we really bringing forth to the community and to the public that other people um, want to support, and how can we convince um, these people that what we do have is worthwhile and worth their investment, and that it will really bring returns on their communities.
Right. And that comes through consistent demonstration. And demonstration being that we are staying consistent. We're talking on YouTube, talking to people who's listening to the first time or people who's been listening quite a few times. We are now engaging in conversation that allow people to see the movement from the ground settings, the foundation being led, being built, to the structures coming, to finally we getting this roof on and opening that door and welcoming everybody in. So the importance of what we're doing right now may seem frugal in the sense of, we're just talking. It seems like we're blowing air, but we're actually sharpening who we are. We're bringing people in. They're giving us ideas. Where we're cutting the rough off the edges to pretty much we're going to be running a smooth little pace soon.
Yeah, exactly. And uh, when you talk about the structure, um, figured we can just kind of go over this little rough draft of this grant proposal, which pretty much is the structure of the operation.
Uh-huh.
And I can just actually share my screen.
Okay, I'm about to say I was trying to pull it up, but go ahead and share it.
All right.
Hold on for a minute.
Yep.
I guess that's about a minute to cut out.
Yeah. And I could even just cut this little because we're kind of like talking, but we're talking about the proposal, and maybe could even send cut this as its own video and send this out.
Yeah, well, it's your creativity. If you see fit in it, yeah, I say why not?
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. So again, new to the nonprofit world, but the basis and foundation of any organization that's entering into it is going to be the grant proposal.
Right.
And so here we have the grant proposal for the FlowDojo Rhythm and Resilience Program, a low impact, music driven fitness program for the underserved communities.
I like you say rhythm and resilience.
Uh-huh.
Man, I love that.
The Rhythm and Resilience Program is a community-based, low-impact, steady-state fitness initiative designed to improve the mental, emotional, physical well-being of underprivileged individuals. By combining specific movements with scientifically supported music synchronization techniques, um, the program promotes stress reduction, mood regulation, confidence, long-term health. We respectively request funding of 50,000 to launch and sustain a 12-month pilot program serving Southern California. All right. The organizational background. FlowDojo is a nonprofit committed to equitable access to health, wellness, emotional resilience resources. Since 2017, we have delivered community wellness programs and partnered with local agencies to improve physical and mental health outcomes. Our team includes certified fitness instructors, trauma-informed specialists, and community health educators who develop unique and engaged programs designed for all ages and athletic abilities.
Man,
The statement of need, underprivileged and low-income populations disproportionately face high levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, limited access to affordable fitness programs, higher rates of cardiovascular disease, obesity, preventable chronic conditions. Barriers to exercising include unsafe neighborhoods, lack of transportation and cost, reduced exposure to structured wellness activities that foster community connection.
right.
Um, And then, this and a lot of this stuff, it's common knowledge that low. that cardio improves heart health, stabilizes mood, and supports long-term mobility. Most people that makes complete sense and it's obvious, but we're still just reiterating all these points as just as a reminder.
Right, right.
Um, Music, synchronized movement increases motivation, exercise enjoyment, emotional regulation. Community-based movement programs reduce isolation, strengthen social support systems. There's a clear gap between the need for fitness and wellness programming and what is available to underserved groups. Rhythm and resilience directly addresses this gap. Um, Program description. Um, Rhythm and Resilience delivers free weekly instructor-led sessions of low-impact steady-state exercise, choreographed, uplifting, culturally relevant music. The experience is intentionally designed to be joint-friendly and accessible for all mobility levels, non-competitive, emphasizing fun, rhythm, and community, emotionally supportive, incorporating grounding techniques and positive psychology, trauma-informed with an emphasis on safety and autonomy.
Man, yeah, everybody needs that autonomy, be free to do what they need, you know?
Exactly. Such a major point. Uh,
Man, for real.
and then it just goes over the and this part specifically can be tuned up, but just as a rough draft, we have weekly group classes, 45 to 60 minutes, synchronized to music at safe BPM ranges, adaptive participation options, um, which we haven't really talked too much about, but a lot of these movements are wheelchair accessible.
Really?
Yeah, you can take the pretty much all of them, and even from wheelchair, you can take the one piece off the rower, and they can do it from the wheelchair. Like everything. I mean, from the battle ropes, boxing is tough, but the other ones, the ski erg, uh, is ad. It can be adaptive, which opens it up to another sector of the population that really need that resilient mindset.
Right.
Vets come to mind. Um, so then, 10
Well,
minute, uh,
I about to say what's dope is that, you can have it for the disabled.
for sure.
That
And that's
that's
another massive incentive for a donor or um, a, what do they call it? Like a foundation to donate if you can add in the people who need the adaptive training. Because
right,
there's a lot of big charities that go out specifically to those types of people.
right.
Um, so let's see, and then we can offer quarterly wellness assessments, goal setting, um, community events, monthly open classes to increase the reach, family-friendly movement sessions, just more ideas.
Right.
Goals and objectives. Obviously, number one is going to be improve physical health. And, we set these little benchmarks like 75% of participants attend at least 8 sessions within 3 months. And we want them to be reporting back with improvements in stamina, mobility, and energy.
So that means we're gonna have to create some type of journal that they will have at their disposal.
Right, right. And even just like a template of questions uh, that they can fill out, figure every week, every 2 weeks, or however often they're coming. Mental support and emotional well-being. So we want them to report reduced stress and anxiety after 12 weeks. Something like 70% report improved mood and emotional regulation tied to music-based movements. And we want them to apply what they learn outside of the sessions. The sessions are where they learn the practice, but they can practice out on their own. And the more they do, the more benefits they'll get.
How are we gonna monitor that process?
That's tough. The best thing you can really do, since we're not really there with them, is
You hear
just,
me?
yeah,
Brian,
Yeah, can you hear me?
hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you
I
hear
was
me?
saying, how are we going to monitor that process?
Yes. And it's tough if we're not really there with them, but the best thing to do would be,
No, I'm asking, did you hear the question?
yeah, I did. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
All right, I can hear
All
you
right.
too. Is
I
would
got
be
you.
to give them like a template that they fill out and they can send it, and it could be something that's online,
Oh, okay.
and so
So,
they can fill out these different data points that we all have access to.
so you're talking about creating more or less like a master class.
Yeah, and because even something as simple as um, like a Google Docs Excel spreadsheet
Right.
that they log into, they fill out the template that we set up, and then we can go in and kind of check up on them.
So would it be a physical check-in or would it be a podcast types check-in?
That would actually be a lot of fun too. And then we can really do like a deep dive into their experience, not only of the session, but how they're implementing it into their lives outside of the sessions. You know,
Right.
because the consistency is key, and
Very much so.
and so if they have a weekly podcast check-in, and we could even do it by group, actually, would be great. So you can get like maybe 5 participants a week hop in on a single Zoom, and we can check in with their mental
Right.
situation as well as their physical. And there's, what are their goals and objectives, and how close are they getting to them? And then we take that feedback and that data, and we can use it as proof that it's working,
Uh-huh.
and we use it to build the relationships of those that are participating.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about that because how we're doing it right now, we're doing a YouTube podcast pretty much, right? How about also if we're going under the nonprofit organization, right? And we're bringing in, how about that we create a package to where part of the exercising is them going through a verbal release, what they're feeling, how they're feeling,
Yeah.
the ins and out of the workout.
Yeah. And when, like a verbal release, one of the things that is uh, a great for them to express is what are their triggers of the previous week, let's say. So they're going into the workout, or has anything really bothered you over the past week that you think where you want to set your intention and your strategy on how to solve it or how to get through it or how to um, process it maybe,
True.
because
True.
the best time to process something, maybe let's say it was something with their family that they're still kind of holding. If you speak that and then you work out, it's going to be cleared out.
Right.
And that could be like a 10-minute like warm up is all right, let everyone just discuss what we may be holding since our previous session. You speak it out and then let's work it out.
Yes, indeed. And that's and that's one of the best ways of growth.
Absolutely.
So
And
yeah.
every time that they speak the trigger, and then they realize after an hour of working it out that they overcame it, or it no longer is affecting them. That way, next time they're out in the world and something else happens, right away they're gonna go, okay, here's another opportunity that I'm gonna have to discuss next session.
And not only will they be able to discuss next session, they're actually have found a accountable support group.
Exactly.
So we're not only offering someone to have a verbal expression, we're also a support group of accountability. That means that we're not forcing you to go and be healthy. We're just holding you accountable to those things that you desire. And so if you desire to get healthy, I'm here to say, hey, let's put that donut down. Let's go the FlowDojo today and get our calories burned. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it. And some people have called me an accountability partner. And
Well, that,
just
well,
having someone there, like that's such a powerful thing because an accountability partner is different than a motivator.
Well, an accountability partner is what is the vocabulary. How would I say? An accountability partner is the vocabulary for health and wellness. So when you're looking for someone to provide you strength, someone to provide you ambition, you're looking for someone who's going to be able to talk to you softly but stern at the same time and remind you exactly of what your goal is. And when you have somebody who can direct you and aim you towards your purpose, more than likely you'll start making small milestones to making the bigger picture visible.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes. And what else is cool too is other members will become accountable. Like it'll be a group thing. It's not, I mean, I guess you could, we're the leaders or facilitators of it, but you might have another guy over here that pops in and he has a experience that's very similar to this guy.
Right.
Or this girl that's been through it recently, so she can give her experience. And it's like a group, it's like a circle, and everyone is pitching in the way however they can, and to develop these strategies to overcome adversity and advance in life.
And also too, we have to begin documenting the different adversities that certain people will go through, so we'll know how to build our content around different people. Just say obesity, just say high blood pressure, just say diabetes. These are just different things that we learn about people, and we start looking at the regimens of their exercise, and we'll be able to create and say, hey, if you have diabetes and you're suffering and you'd like to get your blood pressure lower, we have an exercise for you, we have tea for you, and we have a support group that will hold you accountable for you to be exactly where you need to be.
Bam.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's all encompassing
Mm-hmm.
wellness. There's so much that they can get from it, um, that it becomes a true uh, yeah, it's just real self-development because
Right.
we're hitting on all these different aspects, and it's not just a top-down like one person telling each person what to do, but it's like a synergistic relationship between all the participants. Everyone is trying to give out their best knowledge that they have to help one another.
Right.
And so
And
the power is decentralized, you could say.
I agree with you 100%.
And so everyone feels like they have a piece and that everyone has something to share and everyone has uh can help in however whatever their life has supplied them with, you know.
Right. We're talking about empowerment. Anytime that you have anybody that's able to give you wisdom and understanding from the experiences they went through and set the example for you to follow, we're talking about someone who's going to be there for you thick and thin. We're talking about true, what would that be? Accountability, right?
Accountability and support.
and support.
Yeah, that's what the group turns into. If everyone is holding each other accountable and they're supporting each other.
Right.
And sometimes the best piece of advice could come from the last person you'd expect to have it.
Well, I find that to be true in my days of life.
It's like all you get an absolute gem um, from just someone who you wouldn't expect. And that's what else is cool is it's just there's a lot of sometimes there's a lot of surprises when you have group discussions like that.
Yeah, and that's the point I wanted to make also too. Uh, when getting involved in health and wellness, everyone is not going to be ready to exercise. So with FlowDojo, we do offer consultation through the accountability of a group, meaning that you can come sit in, discuss the issues that you're having, and so we can have a better relationship with you to bring you to a point to begin your exercise regimen. If it's just talking first, eating right second, getting a fluid diet where you're getting off all your sugary substances and drinking water or alkaline water or coconut water to the point to where we can get you walking, brisk walking, to the point to where we can get you to do a lean push-up, to where we can get you in a point to where you're breathing better. This is what the steps of health and wellness is. So I don't want people to just think that, hey, just because you're not exercising doesn't mean that you're not on the path to health and wellness.
Right. And but for those that are on, um, when it comes to the exercise part, we still are offering, and that's why the focus, even from the beginning of this document, was low impact.
Right.
And low impact exercise, what is that? That's going to be walking. It's going to be battle ropes at a very slow tempo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It could be rowing at like 12 strokes per minute.
Right.
Very, very slow, very easy. Anyone can do it. So when there's that hesitancy, they want to get involved, but with starting off with the emotional side of things, they can ease into the physical because again, um, they should come in with that as their direction to get there sooner than later. But we have all these options that anybody can at least begin doing.
And right. And so what I'm saying is that we have to also have different entries into the health and wellness sector of our community. Again, we have to create a pathway for those who may not be ready to exercise, but mentally may be ready to have ideas to change their eating habits, their behaviors. We may have people who best need to just come in and just talk and go from there. May not ever do an exercise with us, but the accumulation of knowledge and education will be provided to get you started. If you find someone else that you're more comfortable with, so be it. As long as we're the foundation of saying that this is what we can provide for you, I'm excited about that.
Definitely. Um, so, in this last one here for the goal is to strengthen the community connection. It says create partnerships with local agencies. And how many agencies out there could, really benefit by just funneling their kids into the program?
Man, I think a multitude of people will be able to benefit. And I think Lane pointed that out to us as well. And not only does he have knowledge and information, but he also has a community. And just as you were speaking earlier, our niche markets need to be set in a direction. For example, what I mean, working with the handicap. I think that would be a powerful niche where a lot of people would put support behind us and offer us spaces to be able to do what we do based on the simple fact that we're helping people in need. We're just not helping people get healthy here. We're helping people build confidence. We're helping people have self-esteem. We're helping people feel a part of a regular community, even with a disability.
Right. And how many of these people with disabilities, they feel like they're being left out of physical fitness. There's a company out of Texas called Adaptive Training Co.
Uh,
And they do a lot of work with vets, and all of their movements and exercises are all adaptive.
well, and see, then you just brought up another niche, working with vets and maybe just even disabled veterans, you know.
Right. And so maybe when it talks about the local agencies, the VA of San Diego or the VA of LA,
Exactly.
they would just maybe they would give a donation and then just funnel their patients into these sessions, and we could even have certain sessions that are designated for vets only.
Well, and but that's the point that I'm getting at. Not only we have disabled, now we can have target veterans. We can also target single mothers with children who needs to release stress. We can also target battered women who's trying to recover from being body sham. There's so many things that we'll be able to do. We just have to create the method and means in which we're going to run the program through. And I think that being that you already have started the process of getting a nonprofit organization together, I believe that we're going to be up and running sometime by the middle of next year, turning down business.
Yeah, because uh the opportunity, it seems like, of people who need it is so vast. It's like there's so much opportunity that sometimes like I don't really know where to start.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where we shouldn't start at no more. I don't think that we should focus on reggae artists per se. The reason why I'm saying that because the reggae artist is just one person. I think that we should really start targeting their fan base, if anything. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, for example, yeah, Ozzy would be a great addition to come on the show, but he coming on the show shouldn't be the reason. We're not asking him to come and join us. We're just asking him as a celebrity to give input to health and wellness. But we should be targeting his following,
Uh-huh.
because his following, which makes Ozzy Delamore. Tafari Walk is following, which make Tafari. What I'm saying is that us going after the one artist is not going to market to the people that we need. But us understanding the artist, it allows us to target his audience that we need. So what if, just say for example, we have Ozzy Delamore appearing on the show, and we know that Ozzy Delamore is more of a roots reggae individual. Prior to him coming on the show, we need to begin to set up, make different types of flyers. We need to do certain type of reels that promoting the breath, promoting the BPM, promoting the different types of exercise you're doing, and blasting it through him to them.
And then um he becomes a participant but also like a representative as well.
Is well, that's the whole thing. We're building a hold on.
So
We're building a reggae ambassador community within the health and wellness. We're looking for artists that are health minded, sound minded, and willing to donate their time to be able to exercise with FlowDojo and give back to the community in the form of action rather than just speaking. Does that make sense?
sure does.
He said, sure does.
Uh-huh. And um it gives the artist an opportunity. Everyone feels good about giving back. And this is like an opportunity for them to have a chance to really to give back to their communities.
Right. Well, let me ask you something.
Hmm.
And I want you to really think about this. And this is something that I want you to make an individual clip and reel about, right? With Flow Dojo being in motion, I not only do I want to know your purpose, I want to know what's your mission in giving back to a community.
Um, the purpose of FlowDojo is to disrupt the status quo
Okay.
in ways for people to develop themselves and improve their lives. And when I look around at the options that um, people have to better themselves, they just are subpar.
Okay.
There's more that can be done, and there are more innovative techniques out there that people can get involved with to strengthen themselves mentally and physically. A lot of the gyms, yeah, they'll get your body stronger, but there's no focus on the internal. And then
So,
you have churches and spiritual groups where they can work on your internal, but there's no focus on the physical. And it only makes sense that both need to be addressed. And so FlowDojo comes in and sets up a program where um, both are going to be worked in a way that will serve them, um, in life. In my opinion, much more thoroughly than something that is just internal or something that's just external or something that's just physical or just spiritual. We got to blend the two because we're two in one here.
right. So I have a two-part thing that I want you to answer, and I
Mm.
want you to cut these up separately. One, I want you to really speak about the mission of Flow Dojo, right? And then two, I want you to speak about the offer. I want you to speak about the offerings of Flow Dojo given the community or individuals on a physical and mental and spiritual level that separates you not only from different types of exercise gyms or even different types of sectors of religion. What makes you stand apart that say that you can get the mind, body, and spirit together into one within a workout?
All right. So the mission, I guess you could say, is to get the mind, body, and spirit um, into one, working together and in proportion with each other. And the way we do that during the workout with the body is going to be the movements. And we have those different stations and exercises that are available that they can choose which one they think is best for them. For the mental, it's going to be about the active listening. Remember, because to move on tempo and on time, we have to really focus and pay more attention to the sounds that we hear. And then on the emotional or spiritual level is um, number one would be through the actual music itself. It's we it's one of the reasons why reggae is the primary um, genre is because it makes you feel a certain way. Reggae is spiritual music. It's like, it creates a feeling within us when we hear it.
Mhm.
Um, and so there you have those three aspects of ourselves, the mental, the emotional, you could say emotional, spiritual, and the physical. that's all being incorporated. If you go to a CrossFit, you're just working your physical. If you go to therapy, you're just working your emotional or spiritual. And if you are playing an instrument, you're using a lot of just mental. But this is what makes all three work together. And I think that's what separates Flow Dojo from other programs is because it brings those three together. And
Right.
I'm not aware of any other programs that do this. And that's why, it's been very exciting for me. And I see it as a disruptive type of organization because it's very effective and I don't see anybody else doing it. And the
Right.
mission is now to to spread it, and so more people can experience and benefit from it.
Right. Now I want you to take that clip and I want you to go get B rolls and I want you to imagine the things that you were saying. Like when you were talking about different what's it called? Different exercise facilities, right? I want you to B roll different exercise facilities. When I want you to talk about uh Flow Dojo offers mental and physical and spiritual. I want you to have the physical. I want you to show you running on BPM. The mental, I want you to show like you or someone sitting in meditation. You know what I mean? And the spiritual, or that can be mental and spiritual. What I'm trying to say is that the information in which you speak and you have enough be real within yourself or be real that you can grab in general to make an exciting reel that would illustrate uh, mentally through a visual perspective of the verbal in which you're enhancing.
Hmm.
Does
And
that make sense?
when you say be real, what do you mean by that?
Okay, be real is like, for example, just say that you're talking about I want to just say sometimes to clear your mind, you have to be alone by yourself, and you might show a ship on the ocean with somebody land on the deck,
Okay, I
just
got.
in pure peace. Or you might talking about sometimes to get the vigorous workout, you have to do vigorous things, and you might show somebody climbing up the side of a mountain.
Hmm.
What I'm so basically,
Okay, makes
basically, what,
to
huh?
just kind of drill home the point with the images.
Right. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you listen to exactly what you're saying, you can go find images that illustrate that in the form that you're teaching people not only to hear but also see. And that's a form of manifestation within itself to verbally speak to the universe for what you desire, and also to physically bring the visual into perspective, whether you're cutting things out of a newspaper or magazine and posting it on the wall, or you're actually going to look at videos of you wanting to travel and going to Portugal, Panama, or even Timbuktu. But what I'm saying is, if you can put a visual with the verbal, your manifestation process become much more clear and it happens at a much faster rate.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Um, okay, so I'll cut that for the B reels, and I will go to just we'll keep moving through this here.
Okay.
Again, target population. There's many targets. I,
Well, hey, I think we have an unlimited target base because there's so many different people that needs extra. Everybody needs exercise in their life for to have a nice vitality of life, right?
Facts.
We can agree on that. And so now it's right now it's our best position to understand the people who has been derailed off the tracks of life. And once we pinpoint people trains sitting off the tracks, it's up to us to get them back on the tracks, get the wheels oiled so they can go down the tracks squeaky clean, free, and be able to stop on a dime as necessary at a destination.
Yes, and when you talk about someone that's off the tracks, they might be off, and their bodies are stagnant, and while they're off the tracks, everything that they've been through is like, you've heard how like the emotions are stored in the body, and so if they've been off the tracks for a long time, you know, it's quite enough to just speak it. Imagine I just had this image like of someone that's sitting here like this, off the tracks,
Hmm.
but you take this stagnant energy or this unhealthy posture because they're down and out, like the posture of someone who's down and out. You know, yeah, exactly. I mean, everything's
Defeated,
off.
defeated.
They're defeated. And when you have that defeated posture, like all of the energy systems within you, it's all a little bit bent. It's not proper. Like in when they start to move, it'll get all that circulating. We hear about circulation. Imagine circulation as it's the energy that flows through. If you're in a down and out posture for a couple years, you got to move physically to work that out.
Right. And so now take what you said. Now this is the power. I gotta record this. Now this is the power of manifestation. When you're able to verbally speak into existence what you see, it is your job now to investigate and research images that relate to the things that you're speaking in a manifestation in a verbal form. So now that you're able mentally to see exactly the destination of what you desire. And so if you're verbally speaking into manifestation the things that you desire and you visually see where you need to be, these things, once they coincide, they collide. And that's the Big Bang Theory. Enjoy it. I'm recording to the side.
That's great. That's awesome. Um, because like sometimes you have that feeling, okay, like when the thought is there, like when I think that's a great little like format there, like the main screen and then the side screen.
So, brethren, this is off topic. It's a little bit personal. So I do want to share with you because I am working with you. What I'm coming to realize, brethren, that the offerings that I'm giving individuals, they've been taking advantage of me in the sense of this, right? You can come into the Magical Media House and I'll allow you to have the studio as if you own it. But when you begin to come to the Magical Media House and you're making your content and you're not involving magical media into your content as if you're just somewhere because you're there,
Uh-huh.
and not saying that, okay, you're creating content, but at least give credit to the Magical Media House for where you're making content at, right?
Uh-huh.
So basically, what I'm saying is Magical Media Content House, Content Creation House will never grow if people are coming here and saying and making content, but sharing their content as if they were nowhere making their content.
Uh-huh.
What happens at that point is magical media becomes the background noise to someone's positive content creation. And so, although you having people apply what you're doing, you're not giving thanks to where it's actually coming from. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's my issue. So what has happened is it has made me go and research what I need to do as an individual to become self-sustained,
Hmm.
disciplined, and responsible for my own output of content. So Safari came and stayed with me the other day. Instead of charging him a monetary form, I told him, "Hey, man, this is this rig piece that I want that's gonna enhance my podcast. Can you get that?" So he is able to get that. I had another guy I did some work for, and I told him, I said, "Hey, man, I don't want money. I need you. This is what I got here. I need you to purchase this." and this is what this is. It's the microphone, right? And
Uh-huh.
so he got me a cordless microphone. And so now I have my laptop already. So now I have a portable podcast studio. I'm saying this to say that I'm now moving in the direction to be my own entity. I'm not looking for anyone else to come in and assist me where I just was lacking the culpability of responsibility, not holding myself accountable for the outlook of my vision.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the further we along we go and the closer to the vision we get, we become more laser focused.
Right.
And people that aren't on the board, or if they're not, if they're not supporting us, then or if they're not
Well, it's a support of you in disguise of self preservation. What I mean by that is that if I have space for someone to come over here and do what they need to do, they're going to take full advantage of that. But the self preservation comes into where you're taking advantage of the opportunity without giving credence where the opportunity is due.
yeah,
Like if you're here at the Magical Media House and you have full access to do what you need to do, you should be shouting out Magical Media Content Residence House all day long.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like, for example, when Marvel makes a movie, you know what I mean, they give thought to their just say if Sony is their subsidiary, you know, it comes on in big things. Stars, Paramount,
Uh-huh.
Sony,
It's the first thing.
Netflix,
Yep.
Hulu, right? So what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm not a big subsidiary as such, but I am a person who provides a studio space for you. Why isn't my name being promoted across the screen? Like, hey, I'm getting my content. Hold on. Hey, I'm getting my content done at the Magical Media Content Residence. If you are interested in provide, well, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but basically what I'm saying is, if you are interested in promoting your business as an entrepreneur and you need space for someone to come and see what you're all about, go to the Magical Media Content House because he's offering space to live for a couple of days, uh, teas, food, all those things.
Yeah. Well, one thing that, that can be implemented very fast is just, a one-page little agreement that they have to sign if they want to do work there. And the one-page agreement could say like, they get for this amount of dollars for this amount of days, and then in exchange they need to do this many posts with this many shout outs. And like you could have, I don't know how you'd want to set it up, but you could just do a very brief one-page thing, even just have it, chat GPT it as kind of like a contractor agreement if they stay at the house. That way they know what they so it's reciprocal both ways.
Man, I like that. You know, I mean, that's a great thing that to really think about because, like, for example, when Tafari came here, every day he should have said I should have had him in a contract. Say every day that was here, hey, I'm here at the Magical Media Content House, studying my guitar or whatever he may be doing, but make sure that people are aware that the Magical Media Content House is hosting.
Yeah, and it doesn't, it can be very, very simple, but there's that way is the agreement because I think human nature is to maybe take what they can without giving back. It's just the way a lot of we kind of maybe just work on autopilot. But this way, you put that in front of them, and they wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, I don't think anyone's going to object. It makes complete sense. You're not being unreasonable at all.
Well,
But they just have to see it. They need something in the okay, yeah, and then they'll agree to it. and they should
And,
accept it no problem.
and that's the thing. And I'm growing as an individual and I'm becoming more structured in what I'm doing. And I'm learning through the process of allowing people to come in. But allowing people to come in now is also causing me, not even causing me, allowing people to come in now is making me more aware to set boundaries and to really relate what I want as a purpose from the Magical Media Content House, as far as letting people know that not only that content is made here, I also host people to stay here as well. Hold on for a minute,
Yep.
babe. I'm in the middle. You're in your Zoom? Okay. Yeah. I'll call you back. All right. So yeah. So you know what I mean? I want to really relate to the people that not only do we make content here, that we make personalized blend teas for the individuals according to their feelings or emotions or what spiritual aspects or outlooks of what they're going to. Not only do we have that, we have 2 rooms available that if you want to stay here overnight, we can accommodate you. Also, that we also cook ITAL food in the most healthiest way. We also have our own farm animals that where if you can do things with that. So there's a multitudes of things that of offerings that I can display to individuals that I want to display to individuals. I am moving, like you said, I need to create a 1 page format that's letting people know that these are the offerings. This is what I expect, whether it's monetarily or whether it's just content wise, whatever it may be. But this is the guidelines and the structures of staying at the Magical Media Content House or just coming and being a part of the Magical Media Content House to where space is being provided for you to create.
Exactly. And no one's going to object to that. It makes complete sense. You obviously have to make a living and they're using your services and just keep it simple. Put it in front of them and then there should be no problems. It's a good deal for both parties still. It's just that
Exactly.
it's just people have to see it. Otherwise, they just won't do it.
Exactly.
Even like when you go to a restaurant or you go to like a business and they say, "Oh, please rate us on Google or rate us on Yelp." If you appreciate the service, it takes you 1 second for your 5 stars. But I always forget. Like I just don't do it. Like it's not something that happens automatically. We need to be reminded to do even the smallest things.
Exactly.
So. Um, but if you can get a one-page thing typed up, that alone makes this, I mean, think of how many problems that solves and how much that helps you build the vision of the house in Magical
It,
Media just by a
it,
one-page, little one-page sheet.
like a bio, so to speak.
Yeah. And I would just have like, like a welcome to Magical Media House. Here are our offerings, and then here's what I, request in return.
Exactly. I can
And
I can feel that.
yep. Uh, we'll just keep running through here. We're almost done. Again, target population. We don't know exactly what that is, but there's a whole bunch of different groups that
I think we spoke well on our target populations. We have many different
there's so many.
yeah. You know what I mean? And I think all of them are readily available. It's just depending on what we're going through or going after at that particular time. We can do one or we can do many. You know what I mean? I just think it's just that we got to pinpoint exactly what we want to do.
Well, and who gets served is who. It goes right back to what we were just talking about. Our target population are the ones that are supported by the ones that support them financially.
Right.
If there's a veterans group that's getting $1 million a year from, the VA or like Wounded Warrior Project, they have all that money. If you pay us if you donate to the program, then your group is the one that gets the benefits. But it's who wants, I mean, that's how it works. Like it's who's going to donate to the nonprofit, and those are the ones that will get the services. So luckily, there's such a wide there's so many. groups that can benefit, that there's potential, that we don't have to stick to just one. And then we can just send, they call it actually, there's a term called grant stacking. And grant stacking is when you just try to get as many as possible. And um, whoever we're stacking grants from are the ones that'll get the program.
Well, I think that grant stacking is going to be the appropriate step for us to take because we have a lot of open market for us. I,
Exactly. And
there's
so, yeah,
actually we can't even turn down a market because
there's no,
everybody deserves to have a right of life through health, through wellness.
that's what I'm saying. And that's what I mean by being a disruptive organization, because everyone at some point is going to want in. And people that haven't been doing it are going to be like, they're going to see it almost as like, maybe in time as like a threat to what they're doing. Because a
Well,
therapist,
it will be because being that you mobile that you are, you can provide service for a group of people down to an individual of people, right? And
yeah.
so most people doesn't can't function like that because most of their machinery is stationary.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that already provides you 3 to 4 steps ahead of the most people in your competition.
Yes, because the convenience factor of them not having to travel
Exactly.
is huge.
Exactly.
And
And
even in the addiction space where um, you have, let's say at a rehab treatment center, a lot of times they have workout rooms
true.
that
Hold
you
on.
could,
Go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah, that you can just go to. And so that way they don't even have to take a shuttle to the local gym, and you just go right to them. And that's like uh a selling point is, look, if we come to you, your members of your group are more likely to do it because they don't have to travel. If they have to get into a van and go to a gym or go to a different location, that's kind of too much. It takes too much time. But if all I have to do is walk downstairs to the conference room, then I'll do it.
Of course.
So it's just that's a major factor.
Right. And anytime that you can provide availability without making it a discomfort to anyone,
Mhm.
you serve the purpose.
Yeah. And on this target population, I also had first responders, because the first responders are basically like the soldiers of our just daily society. When you're talking about the EMTs, um, the firefighters, the police officers, all these first responders have a lot of issues with PTSD.
Right.
It doesn't really get talked about because, again, they're just kind of like I just call them the soldiers of our society. But if you go to a firehouse, a lot of times you'll see those guys outside working out in their off hour. They're waiting for calls to come in. And
Exactly.
you'll see like basketball hoops outside, and CrossFit is big in the first responder community.
Uh-huh.
But if let's just say you show up at a firehouse, you lay out, the treadmills, rowing machines, and battle ropes. Again, they can still be on call. They don't have to leave the headquarters. They could be on call and go through the whole program. And so, what a bonus that is as well.
Exactly. And knowing that you just have an opportunity to be a part of the program, even if you do get a call, you know that at some point the program still would be there.
Right? Yeah,
At
definitely.
least at least available.
It'll be available, and maybe the cities will pay for it.
Brian, I think the more we manifest, we're going to get anybody to pay for anything that we desire. It's just that we have to put it into focus what we actually want to do. I don't think what you have going on, there's nobody that we can't contact with because everybody deserves a right at health and wellness.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
we can work with teenagers, we can work with troubled teens, we can work with displaced men who's been homeless over a certain period of time, we can work with the veterans, we can work with pregnant mothers, we can work with abused abuse abuse people, at all.
Yeah, the list just goes on and on.
Exactly.
Um, and then, we were moving on to like implementation plan. I don't really know how this will work. Just getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but before we implement anything, we got to get um, uh, some people that are interested in getting involved. Um, but then here's back to the evaluation plan of, if we have the success stories and we have people that are out there spreading the word because they're getting results. They're looking at their emotions from different angles. They're working out in new ways. They're having a positive um, uh, attitude towards physical fitness instead of being something that is just something that they have to do. It's something that they're actually having fun doing. Um, as well as looking at music from a different angle. Look, we're actually using music as a way
True.
to navigate, whether it's difficult thoughts and emotions, or just using music to have fun. Now the difference between enjoying a fitness workout versus not enjoying it is simply how we're bringing music into it.
And the type of music.
Yep.
And the type of music. What the feedback did you get working with the car in Hollywood the other week?
It was a very inspirational session. And um, Young Culture, he's a sound system guy. He had a stroke maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
Who did?
His name is Young Culture from the Jaw Thunder sound system.
Oh, I don't think I know him.
Yeah, and he had a stroke a few years ago, so he's been a little bit immobile. His he's lost some muscle coordination on his right side of his body. And he was in rough shape for about a year, but he went through a bunch of rehab and therapies to get his strength and mobility back. And here he is, running the hills with us, doing push-ups with us,
Right, right.
hitting the stairs, and like um, that was very inspiring.
Uh-huh.
And there was another guy, what's his name? Ross Joseph.
I don't think I know.
Uh, He's Ross Ascending Frequency 333 on Instagram. He had a back injury, but he was out there struggling on the stairs, and Fakir was staying back with him, and he kind of went through that moment because Fakir's workouts are much more intense than FlowDojo workouts. He's really pushing people.
Right,
But it's a different style. I'm more low impact cardio. He's, run these ch stairs and wear these chains and do all this stuff.
right.
But when Ross Joseph had this back spasm, he's like, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it." You know, he was pushed to do it, and he could do it. And he said at the end, he's like, "Man, I had a spiritual experience." He's like, "I was talking to my ancestors during that."
Wow, that's heavy.
Yeah, really heavy because he thought he couldn't do something, and then he saw for facts that he actually could. And what else is he doubting himself on that he's not pushing through that he could push through to accomplish? And it was a beautiful thing. It really was. And we had a group of about eight, and Mike Akashik was there, and his girl was there.
Okay.
And it just reinforced for me the importance and power of group struggle and group tenacity and group resilience. We'll say that.
Right.
And everyone really showed it. And the bond that was created among those eight people, you know,
Okay.
when we saw each other later that night, or the next night, everyone was fired up about it, and that's what we're trying to bring.
Got you. Got you. Well, and what was the young man name that you came twice, but I was in conversation with two different people.
Yeah,
Uh he had dreads as well. We never got a chance to speak.
yeah, that was Peter Lionheart of Understanding Sound.
Okay, that's up north, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's been,
yeah.
he's been in the sound system game for like 20 years.
Oh, cool, cool, cool.
Originally from Oakland, and then recently moved up to the hills of Northern Cali.
Yeah, man, I don't know what it was. It just wasn't tonight to meet, but and Ja soon for me, hopefully I get to meet him.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. And he has his roots retreat up there. He's got 15 acres, and I mean, you guys would be a perfect connection because uh, just doing a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, man. Also too, I met the guy Lighthouse up out of Oregon, and he's been inviting me to come up the last couple of weeks. So I've been looking at some flights. I found a flight to leave out of Orange County to go to Oregon, and it's only $69 out of Orange County. If I leave out of San Diego, it's like 280.
Really?
Yeah, and out of
Mm.
LA, it's like 350. But
Yeah,
it's a
it's too much.
Yeah, it's like it's in Orange County. It's like a small airport. So I got to work out the logistics of that. I'm trying to if I can find someone who can actually take me there and drop me off without me having to pay to leave my car.
Right,
It'd be cheaper for me to pay somebody, hey, I pay you round trip gas to take me and pick me up as opposed to me leaving my car 3 or 4 days here at a 50, $60 a night.
right. Um, but any case, we'll just wrap this up here. We got the budget request again, kind of rough draft numbers. I think it seems pretty reasonable. Um, at this point, I think we start at base 50,000
Man, ain't nothing wrong with that.
because I'd rather send out more and get denied at a higher funding request
Right.
than a low funding request and get a bunch. We want um, less funding at a higher price point.
So pretty much, we want to separate the wheat from the shaft.
Yeah, and the people that really understand the power of it are going to be willing to put through 50,000. If some people, oh, we'll give it a shot, 5,000. Like that's not really going to cut it here, folks.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Um, Sustainability, how do we keep it going? How do we keep it growing? And lastly, the conclusion. I'll just read this out. The FlowDojo Rhythm and Resilience Program offers a creative, accessible, science-based approach to improving mental, emotional, physical well being in underserved communities. With your support, we can provide a joyful, healing, movement based program that empowers individuals, strengthens community ties, and reduces well being disparities. We respectfully request your consideration of 50,000 to bring this much needed program to life. And I just want to touch too on this idea of science based approach. A lot of the spiritual stuff, it's um, even though it can have really good results, it doesn't have the science that the
Right.
Flow Dojo has, and I call that's my receipts. You know,
Hey,
Flow
that's good.
Dojo comes we come with receipts,
Right. Right. Right.
and but the thing is, when you get into the science, um, that's when we're talking about the data on those rowing monitor screens.
Uh-huh.
But it's a little bit complex, but it's there. Like I call it's like irrefutable evidence.
True.
Once that stuff is lined up, it's irrefutable. And so that's why, when the fact that it's science based, it can all be proven versus some of the spiritual stuff where it's just like, in theory this happens. In theory this happens. But Flow
Right.
Dojo is scientific.
I got you.
So
I got you.
I'm gonna stop sharing this.
Yep. Man, I'm always learning a lot with you, man.
Man, there is there is so much that Stop share. Like the when we talk about how wide the populations are that can be served by this program, it's the same thing with how deep the the science is behind it, how the music plays the role, and everything that goes in to what creates the Flow Dojo. Like it's equally as vast.
Exactly.
It just
Exactly.
go there's so much there, and all the pieces fit into like this puzzle. And it's the
Right.
same thing with the places that we're going to. Anybody can can benefit and see its usefulness.
Right. It's just about employing that. Let me go let my dog in real quick.
All right.
He did all that and didn't want to come in.
It's classic. My dog does the same thing.
Man, that's crazy.
You let him in and he wants to go out, and then you let him out and he wants to come in.
Yeah, well, he's sitting there hitting the door to come in. I go let him in. He don't want to come in.
Man.
He losing his mind.
Um, but does it seem like the vision is getting like clearer?
Man, is becoming very clear. And I'm going through the process with you is refining my goal in my pill.
Uh-huh.
What I mean by that is working side by side with you is now making me look what I'm doing with myself. And now it's allowing me to fine tune the things that I'm thinking I needed other people for, that it just take really my responsibility and hold myself accountable to make these things possible.
Hmm. And it's all possible. The possibilities are infinite.
They're already there. It's just really you just having the faith to move the mountain.
Yeah.
It's already provided,
Right.
you know, even with yourself. Ozzy, you already in yeah, he might not be with us today, but he's coming.
Definitely.
The seed
Right.
is
It's already done.
the seed is planted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even in that regard, this is the catalog that we have to be able to present to those who are donating money to show the deepness that we have involved in the reggae community and bringing artists in to even perform for them on a fundraising state to bring awareness to whatever their foundation is.
Yeah. And when we talk about the fundraising, I mean, even that could be something, what if you get a whole bunch of what if we get like we rent out a venue and have like 10 artists and all proceeds go to Flow Dojo?
Exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly. And
Because
and
again,
if
people want to give back. Like this is an opportunity where they can maybe do something like that, especially when they see how much uh is there to be offered.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Okay. Um,
Totally agree.
all right. And I guess some action items moving forward. I guess over this week, like some things that I could do. Maybe just even just reading through this proposal, I've seen things that I can tune it up to make it a little bit more compact, a little bit more precise.
Uh-huh.
And I want to do that, number one. I want to get Lene's eyes on this because his email wasn't working. So I got to find a way where I can send him this next draft of the proposal.
Okay. What, his email was full or what?
It said it was full.
Yeah. It
Um,
bounced.
So in any case, I'll find a way to get it to him. And
Right.
then once that's tightened up, I should have the EIN number comes in the mail. I don't know. I can't imagine taking much longer than a week or two.
Yeah, you even though it comes in the mail, you could have grabbed it right then and there too.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't see it though. Like I
Oh,
filled it out and it said thank you for submitting your EIN, and then it had me fill out my address. It said it sends a paper document in the mail.
oh, okay.
So, but anyway, it's on its way.
Well, hopefully you get it. Well, the holidays is coming up, so
Yeah,
give it an extra 2 3 days.
yeah. And then in the meantime, there's just these other things that we can do. But what's going to be really interesting is when the first initial push when you're sending out the proposals is seeing whose attention it gets the most. Because
Right.
then you start maybe shifting over there. Like if the
Yeah.
adaptive training people like, oh, that looks so great, then we start finding more adaptive training. And yeah, it's a day by day thing, but
Yeah.
it's no doubt that it's moving in the right direction. And for me, it's getting like more and more uh, just clear
Hope
on what's got to get done.
I got you.
So
Yes, indeed. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time and your service, and I know that we're moving at 100 miles an hour. Our small steps are becoming bigger.
sure thing. And with each week that goes by, it's the progress is being made onwards, upwards.
And I thank you for holding the space, allowing me to be a part of your journey, documenting along the way, and be able to gain the understanding and have the wisdom to explain to others. So I really thankful for you for that. So big shout out to Flow Dojo.
Hey, thanks. And when it comes to like the details, with financing and like compensation for because you're helping out also. Like I don't know how many to compensate myself yet. Like,
Right,
but
right.
it's not like I'm avoiding it. I just don't know. And a lot of this stuff is just going to be we're going to have to just figure it out as we go. And that's kind of one of the things at this point, at least.
Well,
You know what I mean?
energy purifies itself. So meaning that, you know what I mean, uh whatever needs to be burnt off, it'll be refined down to its most precise gold, or chiseled down to its most precious diamond. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we just got to keep that in mind.
For sure. And like a lot of times people are like, we got to figure out the money first and then do everything else. I think we got to get everything else figured out and then the money comes in, we can figure it out.
Well, and yeah, and at that moment, you'll know how much energy was given to the tank, to make it full. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you'll be able to judge that based on, what I mean, how much energy you put into it, and to see where it propels to, as opposed to someone giving you assistance or not.
Yep. All right then. Well, I'll post this up on YouTube and we'll take it from here.
Yeah, man. So, let's try to meet again as soon as possible.
Yeah, how about do you want to just plan every Tuesday at 10?
Let's make it 10:30.
Okay.
You know,
Tuesday,
yeah, let's make it 10:30.
that works. We'll tentatively plan for that. If something comes up or if someone wants to chat with us in between times, sure,
Right.
but we'll plan for these every Tuesday at 10:30.
For sure.
All right.
All right.
Adios.
Yes, sir.